It is getting cold outside, so we're hunkered down in the Bay Cave. This is Nick, and he's been doing some amazing stuff. You've probably seen on his Instagram, nick.rundle03.
Yes.
On Instagram, check it out. And tonight we're going to show you one of his techniques, which is basically doing a skin pour and then painting with powder inside of the bait, inside the skin.
It's fun to do and it's super simple. Everybody thinks it's so hard to do, but I'm here to show you guys how to do it.
Starting off by heating up some, what is that, tube crawblend?
Yes.
Plastic from Dead On, get that nice and hot, and then he's going to keep it clear, correct?
Yes, no colorant whatsoever. Clear, clear, clear. But right now I'm going to degas it because if you can see, there are teeny tiny air bubbles in there, and I don't want those in there. I want this to be as clean as possible. After I degassed it, it is crystal clear.
And you're going to be working with the 6.1 stud mold. Is that your favorite mold?
That is my absolute favorite mold.
Is it because it's a big, kind of a big canvas to pour onto?
Absolutely.
And you might want to wear gloves doing this. He's a legendary. This is his normal routine, so he's got it dialed.
Okay. And overpour, overpour, overpour.
Ooh, yeah, definitely wear gloves, guys. It's on the floor. Don't wear sandals.
Yeah, I'm not a safety guru. I'm sorry. Yeah, I start with the anal fin there. And come down and just make sure you get everything. And it's going to leave you with that. But the cool thing about Epic Bait Molds, it's so precision machined. Like, this is already cooled down. So all I do is pinch.
And you're just using the mold to kind of cut through that.
Yep. Okay, so now I've got the skin pour down on both. I am going to grab our little bag of goodies. And we've got all these up here. Guys, all this stuff came on Amazon. You don't need the expensive stuff. And to be honest, this is a paintbrush that I hoarded from my 7-year-old daughter for watercolors. That's all I'm using.
I love that. And these are all just powders, correct?
Yep.
Just pigment powders.
Pigment powders. I just go through and find some colors that I like, and we rock and roll. Gonna grab black onyx, and I'm just gonna go over the pec fin and the anal fin.
So you're just dipping right into the bag.
Yep.
I like
just
that.
Just this little tiny brush. And just like painting with your kids, just stay in the lines.
Wow. Oops.
Just grab some of the excess up here, take it down so it looks kind of like it's fading out. Okay, and that's all we're doing with the black. So we decided that we're gonna do a fire tiger kind of pattern. So I'm using the same black, and I'm just going to just paint some bars.
And you're starting with the fins and the blacks because you want those to show through, and all the other colors will kind of be like behind those, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
When I build these, I always start with the fins. That's just something I always start with. And then after that, once they're defined on here, then I can move on to the next step.
Okay. So there's the finished bars on the back, the fin, side fin, and the anal fin. They're all painted on there with just the black onyx. And again, just any ordinary brush will work. You don't need anything super fancy.
Yeah, and now, since we're doing a fire tiger, we're going to jazz it up. We're going to grab a little bit of this orange. Just going to start here. We're just going to put a line down the bottom of each side for a little highlight to our orange belly.
So if you get little drops on there, you can just blow them off.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh no!
It'll all work out. And sometimes little accidents like that really are good because they make the bait pop even more and you realize, hey, I should do that next time. Okay, so now I'm using Lurecraft Super Highlight Orange, and I'm just going to go in just a little bit, starting at that fin, and I'm just going to try to blend it the best I can.
Will that give kind of like a shimmery orange transition into the other colors? Okay.
Yes. And it'll really make sense once you see what I do for when I clamp the mold together my first color.
Okay.
It'll really make sense. It'll give it so much depth.
Yeah, that looks awesome. So now he's all done painting the inside of that skin pour we did. He's going to clamp the mold together and then put it on the hot plate and heat it up.
And I'm going to put this on the hot plate at about 350 degrees for 5 or 10 minutes before I even pour my first color. It just seems like everything bonds so much better. The mold has time to warm up, so I'm not just pouring hot plastisol into a cold mold. Okay, so now I'm coming in. The mold's clamped up. This is the same clear that we used for the skin pour. No colorant, no anything. It is clear. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up till the hook slot is just barely under plastisol. Something like that. Okay, we've got our clear.
And this is the same clear he started with, so you guys can reuse your plastic and just keep going off that same.
And this is dead on just chartreuse. Let's see how thick that gets. When you're shooting like this and you're going to use glitter, a lot of the open pore glitter ends up sinking. What you want to do is have a hot mold and cool plastic, so it doesn't just all go boop, boop.
So you're saying this mold's hot?
The mold's hot, but I'm going to pour this cold. And to cool this down, I'm actually just going to keep stirring it for a little while.
Are you looking for a specific temperature? Or?
Oh, I would like to see like 320, 330.
Okay.
You know, somewhere in there.
So you're shooting it cooler to keep this glitter here suspended inside of that plastic so it doesn't sink to the bottom and create basically a layer. God, that's hot. Woo!
Yes.
Doesn't create a layer of glitter basically on that layer we see there.
We're at 326 now.
Okay. That looks awesome.
And since I poured it cold, it's going to cool down and keep everything suspended. That's just something, talking with other bait makers on Instagram, that I learned. So this was the same chartreuse that I poured the middle line with. And I don't know if this will work. I'm going to give it a shot. But this is Neo Blue from Dead On. And we're going to try to turn it green. Whew, I'm liking that. So we've already got the chartreuse flakes in there. And that's going to pop. So I'm just going to throw some of this. About a scoop and a half.
The green square 0.035 inch glitter. Or flake, I should say. Sorry, guys. And you're pouring this cool again to suspend the flake?
Yep. And I start with the tail. It's just something I've always done. Then come up. and I overfill, and I will show you why when we're ready to demold this. Okay, see how sloppy that looks?
Sloppy.
Sloppy, but it won't be. Watch, I have a method to my madness.
This is still hot. He's left it on here for about 15 minutes at 400 degrees to kind of meld everything together. And now you're going to transfer it to this.
I'm just going to take it to a block of aluminum, and we're going to let that sit for another 15, maybe 20 minutes. If you cool the mold off too fast, you're going to get really intense denting. Like, it's going to go, like, way deep.
Yeah.
And I just like the whole bait to have the shape that it was made to be in. So
The flat top.
Yep.
It's been about 45 minutes or so. The mold is definitely cold. So he's going to crack it open, demold it.
No, actually, before I crack it open, see all my flashing?
Okay.
Actually, what you do is you just push it down.
So it's just like before when you started, you're using the edge of the mold, that sharper edge, to basically pinch and cut off the flashing.
Yep.
Which is why you did not care that you overpoured. Does that help fill in that cavity too?
Yes.
Overpour?
Yes, you don't get nearly the denting on the top. All right. Are we ready?
We're ready. Let's see it.
Let's see.
That is awesome. Throwing on the 3/8 inch eyeballs. And there it is with the eyeball. And you can actually see through. Since he just used clear, you can see all the way through. You can actually see the hook slot kind of reflecting back in there. I want to give a special thanks to Nick over here for crushing it on the awesome design today.
Thanks, guys, for heading to my shop. If you have any questions, hit me up, nickrundle.03 on Instagram. Thanks, guys.